Hello and welcome to In Conversation With, and in this episode we speak to Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One driver Valtteri Bottas. VB, mate, great to see you. It's been a while.
I know it's been a while. It's been quite a few weeks since we're supposed to get racing. But actually time is flying at the moment, and I hope it does until we get back to racing.
I can't remember. Melbourne was such a whirlwind. I can't remember if I saw you there or if the last time I saw you, you were crashing me into a snowdrift in Austria, doing some ice driving in AMGs. So, which is amazing. I think that was only a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I know. It's and all the preps, all the events we had before the race, and all that kind of things. It feels, pretty long time ago, but. Here we go.
The other day, I went out in my car for the first time. I think about 35 days. I've basically not driven since Melbourne. It was a really weird experience to be driving again. And that's for someone who doesn't do it for a living. I just wonder for you, how much you must miss. Because I guess by the time we go back racing, it'll probably be the longest gap you'll have had since you've been in a single seat car, potentially.
That is true. Yes, I can't remember this long ever being away from single seated cars. And since I joined Williams as a test driver, I can't remember a time that there would have been such a big gap of not driving a Formula One car. So I'm sure the cars are going to feel very fast again. And but the key thing is to find that rhythm as quickly as you can. And obviously during this time, this pretty special time, need to make most out of it and be ready when it all kicks off, and do the things that is going to help you to be ready.
Yeah, I was thinking if, you wouldn't expect a tennis player to turn up at another tournament having not hit a tennis ball or something. I think it's going to be an interesting day, the first time we get back on track, but hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Just talking about looking back to Melbourne, just over a month ago now, we obviously kind of knew what the press were talking about and what was being released by Formula One. What we kind of haven't, heard about is what happened with you drivers. You obviously left following the race cancellation, but have you chatted to any of the other lads? Did you guys kind of stay in touch with what was going on early on?
Yeah, on Friday morning when things got kind of confirmed that the race is not going to happen, I saw some drivers there and just kind of chatting how to get home and what's going to be the best route in terms of flights. And that was the first thing really. And apart from that, I really haven't spoken with anyone. I think everyone has been kind of doing their own thing. Obviously, everyone lives in different countries and situations can be quite different. But it was strange. I went for breakfast on Friday morning, and then I saw George there, and he was looking up flights, and then I found also some routes to get home, and just strange, bizarre.
As you look at the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team, there's some incredible partnerships through both technology and lifestyle, but partnerships are really all about relationships. And I guess one of the longest relationships in your life has been with Antti, who obviously you've worked with now. I suppose originally, was it Formula 3 you were with him first?
Yeah, I think it was 2009 or 10. We worked initially. We had 1 year in F3. Then he got an opportunity to join McLaren and Formula One. So then he went for that opportunity, which was absolutely fine. But we shook hands to say that, one day when I'm in Formula One as well, then we work together. So we made it happen. So we've been in touch with Antti, and he's obviously monitoring my training, helping with the plans, and we've been actually able to do some sessions together because he's in Finland at the moment as well, obviously keeping the distance. But we've been able to do good stuff in terms of training.
I was going to say, he must be missing you otherwise. You boys are used to spending so much time together on the road. It's a bit unusual.
Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's good to be separate from some people for at least a couple months a year.
A little break. I think it's been interesting what different people have been up to when they've had a bit more time on their hands. I'm not sure how much you've been following the other drivers, but I saw Daniel Ricciardo in one of our competitor teams, of course, doing some quite impressive or strange parkour the other day. I wonder if you've been called out for any of those challenges.
I haven't actually, no. I've been kind of keeping a distance to social media in a way. Yes, still looking at some things, and obviously there's lots of good things you can be involved, but being actually really trying to make most out of the situation for myself and for my performance, and trying to work out the right things to do, like I said earlier, to be at the best possible performance when it all starts.
Talking about doing different things, some of the cool stuff that's been available is the virtual things, and some of the boys have been doing virtual racing. For you, it's been virtual racing, I guess, but on a bike rather than in a car. How's that been? I think you're taking it a bit seriously, shaving the body hair and going for a full aero suit in a virtual race. But hey, who am I to judge?
Yeah. Actually, yes, did my first race. Well, it was not a race. It was actually e-ride with Team Ineos. It was pretty cool. So on an indoor trainer, we'll do a lot more of those, no doubt. I enjoy it. But actually, tomorrow I'm supposed to get in my home simulator to get some actually racing stuff, like virtual racing. So the team helped me to get a nice setup. So I think you might be seeing me in some online racing at some point, maybe. And yes, and obviously, yeah, situation in Finland is pretty good in a way that you can do stuff outdoors. So not only been training inside, so being able to do mountain biking, road cycling. Obviously, you need to still keep the distance, but it's all fine. Can enjoy the nature, and actually been able to get quite a bit of real driving in terms of go-karting, rallying, these kind of things. So I think it's a good place to be, and good place to be able to keep your driving skills sharp.
Well, we've seen you on social media spending plenty of time on the bike. I wondered if you were going to give Jim and maybe Dave Brailsford over at Ineos a little shout to see if Tour de France is postponed, see if you can jump in with the team Ineos.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell you my cycling game is getting strong. So thanks to Tiffany. I've tried to keep up with her, and there she goes, actually. Another session for
Another
her.
session.
I feel a bit guilty just sitting here, but that's how it goes.
You can get some benefit vicariously, maybe. Talking of sport and the Team Ineos guys, obviously normally we'd have the Tour de France to look forward to soon. We should be enjoying motor racing. I think for sports fans, it's something that brings us so much joy and pleasure normally. But I wonder, as a fan yourself, what sport are you most missing watching at the minute?
I've been always a fan of all kinds of sports. I just really love watching top athletes doing their thing, because I know how much sacrifice it has required from them to get there where they are at the moment. So ice hockey for sure. Like NHL should have been peaking quite soon. The Stanley Cups, everything. So ice hockey is a big thing for me. But yeah, all sports, I really miss it. Obviously, there's lots of good stuff on TV nowadays with all the races that has happened in the past and competitions. But yeah, I think everyone is as keen to get back to it as I am in terms of real sports again.
I was going to say we've only had just over 1,000 races. I'm going to run out soon, so I need to move on. Need to move on to something else. But talking about being keen to get back to it, I think we all want to go racing and we all want to see a live event. But it would be strange not to have the fans there. They make up in any sport such an important part of the spectacle.
For sure, it would be really strange not to have fans, and you kind of lack the atmosphere. Obviously, when you're driving, when you're focusing on the driving, you can't really see them or hear them. But those post-race feelings and podium ceremonies and all that is going to be quite different if that's going to be the case. But obviously, yes, we need to make sure that the things we do are going to be when it is safe to do so and when it's the right time for it. So that's how it goes. But at least I hope, if we are going to be racing without fans, that everyone could see it on TV, not just limited people. So we'll see.
Well, you talked there about the sort of the joy you take in watching other athletes performing at their best, and it made me think, of course, that the lovely message you put out the other day with sadly lost Sir Sterling Moss, and truly someone performing at their peak in an incredible career. But you're one of the few lucky people who has had a chance to drive the W196. I think you drove it up the hill at Goodwood in 2018. A car that Sterling, of course, was the first British driver to win a race in. I was going to say how different it is it? I suppose they've got four wheels. Other than that, nothing's the same. But what admiration, I guess, for people of that era, and for Sterling, of course.
Well, massive respect for that era, and obviously for Sir himself. It's just a complete different sport at that time. You know, it's obviously no seat belts. That's the first thing. You're like looking for them. Where are they? But you can't find them. So, and you know that if you make a mistake or if you have a technical failure, it's not going to be good news. So that brings that extra excitement and adrenaline into the driving. But it's funny, once you get to drive that car, you kind of forget that. And but yeah, it's the cars were so much more difficult to drive than nowadays. You really had to, you know, battle with a car. And yeah, it's I have big respect for that era and the drivers in that era.
I want to talk a bit about your new TV show. It was obviously put out on the Mercedes-AMG Petronas channels the other day, Cooking with Valtteri, and Porridge, episode 1. I've got to tell you, I followed the instructions, massive disappointment. It turns out water, oats and chia seeds. I think we've got to look at some other recipes here, Valtteri. I think as you've got some more time at home, I think we can work on this.
Okay. I have lots, so we can for sure come up with something. So
I've looked up the top Finnish dishes. You've got to tell me what they are. I'm going to try and pronounce them and see if you can. So Karjalan Piraka.
Karjalan pirkka.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is that?
Karelian pie. It's like I think it's like bread based, and then there's rice normally inside. It's like a salty thing. It's very kind of Eastern Finland thing. So yes, recommended.
Okay, so we can cook that in the show. Leipäjuusto.
Leipäjuusto, squeaky cheese. And that with cloudberries. That is good. It actually works as a dessert. So yeah, it's a weird dessert, but works.
It's a cheese dessert with berries.
Yes.
Oh, okay. This is a tough one to pronounce. Okay, give me a chance. Uudet perunat ja silli.
Uudet perunat ja silli.
You don't think I was close?
Pretty close, but I understood. So that's good. Yeah, so that's the new potatoes that you get, which are very nice, very tasty, soft, and silly. I don't know the English word for it. It's not my favorite though, but yeah.
I heard it was pickled herring, which I can imagine if you're making that for Tiffany right now, I can't imagine it's too popular.
Yeah, true that. She's the best cook here, actually, better than me. So, yeah.
The final one, I'm annoyed you haven't told me because I know what this is. Mammi.
Mammi, yes, that's an Easter thing. I would not recommend it.
But it's porridge. It's a type of porridge, no?
Yes, but it's very special. There's some people that love it. Most people hate it. I don't know if you've ever had the chance to try it. Maybe not.
No, as you can imagine, definitely not.
Yeah. It's a risky one to try. So.
I don't know if this cooking show is going to take off, but we got time. Talking of the gift of time, you're not in the car. It's hard to hone your skills, but I wonder if you found any way to sort of improve yourself in some ways during this time. It's strange. You've been on naturally that hamster wheel of trying to progress your career for so long. You've made it to Formula One, and now in a team in a car that can win races. There can't often be time to reflect, I'd imagine. I just wonder how this has been, that sort of gift of time that we've had.
Yeah, it's as I said earlier, it's very special circumstances in the world right now, and for many athletes and us, including in Formula One, it's a rare opportunity to do so many different things that you normally just don't have the time. And you have this extra period to build your base condition, to really raise your physical fitness, and to work on your mental fitness and mental strength. And so I'm really trying to make most out of this, and to be as strong as ever. I'm sure every driver is trying to do the same, but try to lift up myself to a next level in this rare opportunity. And I can't remember a time that I've been in one place without traveling by plane somewhere. So it's pretty unique, and just making most out of it, because I know when things get back to normal, it will be completely flat out. So yeah, then you will need that mental strength, and you need to have your batteries full.
As a driver, you've obviously got to turn up perfectly prepared, but the reality is you need the team to give you a car that you can go out and compete in. We were teased as fans by seeing the W11, of course, at the 2 test sessions. The car looks good, but we never got to see so far the car in anger. And I just want to just talk a little bit about, I don't know how much you can judge, but how did it feel in Barcelona compared to W10? You know, you scored 9 podiums in the first 10 races in that car in 2019. How did W11 match up? How different does it feel to drive a new car? And how excited were you to drive and race that in Melbourne?
Yeah, the first few laps with W11, it really put a smile on my face because I could feel the improvements since last year. And it's so impressive, you know, what the team can do over the winter. Although there wasn't really that much regulation changes or anything, but you could really feel the improvements, you know, the increased downforce, how the car behaves mechanically. Everything just felt better. So I knew that, yes, we have a great chance again this year to do lots of good things, you know, to achieve our goals that we have set to ourselves as a team and for me as a driver. So I was excited, yes, and everyone in the team was, and to actually really see where we stand up against all the other teams when it really comes down to putting down the lap times in qualifying and finishing a race as fast as you can with a good reliability. So I was keen as everyone, and it's just, yeah, all I can say, it felt good, but you also want to keep your feet on the ground and see when it counts. But we still have to wait for that moment a bit more, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully it's not too long. I want to wrap up by talking, we mentioned before about being on that hamster wheel and constantly working. There's so many races now, and we finish a season and you prepare for the next. I guess it's an opportunity to take some time to realize that the privilege that we have for all of us with the freedoms that we normally experience, but also not taking anything for granted. And for yourself as one of only 20 people who get to drive an F1 car, I can't imagine how different it might feel when we get to go back, and just how excited you'll be to when those lights go out for the start of the first race of the season.
Yeah, it will be very special when the lights go out next time, you know, because it's going to be such a long time since the last race. And yeah, definitely miss that racing feeling. And so, yeah, I can't wait. And like you said, it definitely makes you to appreciate things more. And for me, yes, no doubt, I will remind myself every single day when I'm in the car that, you know, I'm so lucky to be able to do this, and remind myself of these times that I've been just missing being in the car. And I'm sure that can give an edge if you can turn this into that right kind of mentality and learn from this situation. So, and for any other thing in life, I think for everyone, please appreciate the small things. And even this time, there's many things you can't do, but there's so many other things that you normally wouldn't have the chance to do. So enjoy that.
Yeah, and one of those has been having a catch up with you, mate. Brilliant to speak to you. Thanks so much for taking the time. Stay in touch, and I hope maybe the next time we see each other is at a racetrack somewhere around the world and we're getting this season going. But thank you very much, Valtteri Bottas.
Thank you. Hopefully see you soon.